We had that debate tonight, and it's kind of baffling to me that we are actually having to debate these things.
That is what they're saying. I've talked to these people all the time, but because I'm out in the country all the time, and they're like, we're not all crazy. We just don't feel comfortable. And I've said this before. I'll say it again. A lot of them say to me, "What you don't get about us and Donald Trump is we don't like him either. We just see him as a bulwark against something that's even nuttier." Because as we know in America, people really don't vote for who they like. They vote for who they hate the least.
Right. And where are you with free speech now? Because it seems to me that as a comedian and a host, comedy has never been under more attack than it is now. I mean, literally physical attacks now on comedians on stage to try and suppress their right to tell jokes. What do you feel about it?
In this video, Bill Maher and Piers Morgan dive into the deepening political divide across the United States, discussing how both ends of the spectrum, Donald Trump on the far right and radical progressives on the far left, are fueling a fractured national climate. Maher emphasizes that many Americans no longer feel genuinely aligned with the candidates they support. Instead of voting for leaders they truly believe in, people are choosing what they see as the lesser of two evils. This dynamic has led to widespread frustration and a disconnect between citizens and their political representatives. Maher expresses concern that traditional liberal values, ones rooted in reasoned debate and balanced discourse, are being pushed aside. Particularly, he believes extreme progressive movements are silencing moderate voices and reshaping the political landscape in a way that discourages open conversation. He stresses the importance of restoring a space where thoughtful, rational dialogue can thrive.
I don't know what's going to happen in 2024. My prediction would be it's Biden against him again, Biden wins again, and he doesn't accept it again.
Is it? I have to ask about Biden, because I've heard you defend him about his record in the term. I think it's been actually better than people think, which is why he did better in the midterms than people expected. But he's really showing his age. It's 2 more years before an election. If he then does 4 more, he'd be 86.
What?
Does that matter?
It doesn't matter to me. I feel like this is a prejudice that this country has. This ageism, it's an individual thing, age. Some people are old at 50, and some people are young at 90. Norman Lear's over 100. I had dinner with him recently with other people. He was as sharp as anybody at the table. So it doesn't matter. And a president doesn't have to be super energetic. To run for president takes a lot of energy. To be president, you're the elder. Every civilization seems to have understood this. The elder. We go to you for advice and wisdom. Hey, elder one who has seen it all.
Well, Biden
what should we do about this problem? And then he has his minions go out, and you don't have to be. And also, I just think it's a narrative that, he looks old. He looks like the same guy I've ever seen. He's a little older, so he fell off his bike. Can you imagine Trump?
Bill Maher also takes a hard look at how today's political climate is impacting free speech. He's particularly alarmed by what he sees as the rise of cancel culture, a cultural force often amplified by social media that punishes individuals for expressing opinions that don't perfectly align with progressive beliefs. According to Maher, this environment creates a chilling effect where people are afraid to speak freely, fearing public backlash or professional consequences. He argues that this form of censorship, driven not by law but by social pressure, limits the diversity of perspectives that are essential to a healthy democracy. The pressure to conform ideologically has, in Maher's view, made many Americans cautious or silent, even when they have meaningful insights to share. He warns that this trend could permanently damage the national conversation as people begin to self-censor in order to protect themselves.
Or done substantially, legislatively. I mean, he got us out of Afghanistan, which, did he stick the landing on it? No. But a lot of that was because Trump organized that before he even got there with his stupid "we'll get out by this date," and he only left 2,500 troops there. He left them a horrible hand. So it's not a terrible idea to say that. And of course the Democrats never do, because they're just so afraid, they'll just say we're using excuses. It's a reasonable excuse. It's a real excuse. Having said that, they could have done it better, but at least we did it, and we should have done it. And he actually got the ball rolling on climate change in a big way that nobody's been able to do before. He steered most of of this big money we're spending towards stuff. They're all really climate change bills, and nobody did that, and he got infrastructure going, and you know, he's an old school kind of guy. Is he perfect? Of course not, but he's getting the job done, and we're back to normal. It's not insanity. He's not, you know, poop tweeting and having feuds.
Moving on, Maher addresses the ongoing debate about age in American politics, particularly concerning President Joe Biden. He pushes back firmly against the idea that age alone should determine a leader's fitness for office. In Maher's view, what truly matters are qualities like mental sharpness, decision-making ability, and accumulated wisdom, not physical energy or youthfulness. He points out that some individuals remain intellectually capable well into old age, while others may decline earlier in life. Therefore, judging a leader purely based on age overlooks far more important attributes. Maher calls for a more thoughtful conversation around leadership, one that respects experience and performance over superficial traits.
Of everything Biden has done? No, I don't. I think he caves into that super left side a little too much. I think they go to him with that stuff and he goes, I don't understand it. I can't be bothered with it. I have real matters to do. If you want to do this, fine. I'm not going to fight you on it. And, you know, is it as existentially...
In addition to defending Biden's mental fitness, Maher also highlights key achievements from his presidency. He commends Biden for taking strong action on climate policy and making significant progress in infrastructure development, two areas where previous administrations struggled. Maher also touches on the withdrawal from Afghanistan, acknowledging that while it wasn't handled flawlessly, the situation was inherited from decisions made during Donald Trump's term, which created a complicated starting point for Biden. Despite these challenges, Maher credits Biden for making bold choices in difficult circumstances and for taking ownership in areas where many leaders have hesitated or faltered. His overall point is that Biden's presidency, while imperfect, reflects substantial leadership effort in the face of complex national and global issues.